nuance, nonsense, and luck on anecdotal evidence and the prevalence of it depends in SEO. Everyone is wrong. Everyone is right. What's up, folks? Me, Justin. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. All right. So we've all seen it play out. If you're in any sort of SEO community, or seen it on Twitter, seen it on YouTube, seen it on forums, seen it at your local chamber of commerce, who knows? The debates or well, I do it this way, backlink building versus no backlinks, paying for backlinks versus doing like outreach or, Haro and trying your best to earn them. Getting outsourced content versus hiring experts that, the 1, 2, 3 cents per word versus 5, 10, $1 per word, that kind of stuff. AI versus no AI. I can't really think of any other big kind of debate topics. Those seem like the major ones. We all see it play out, right? And the wild thing is, because at the end of the day, all of these work, and at the same time, they don't work. It's like Schrodinger's rankings, and I think I pronounced that wrong because he's Austrian, and that umlauted O is kind of like a sound, like Schrodinger's rankings, but that's neither here nor there. If you take like 15 SEOs, doesn't matter, in-house, agency, freelance, consultants, niche site builders, local, e-commerce, enterprise, whatever. If you take 15 of them, not 15 in the same group, not from different groups, or in different groups, because that'll be wildly different. You take 15 of them, you ask them to like rank for the same suite of keywords. Hey, here's these 50 keywords that we want your strategy on. You're gonna get 50 completely different game plans. And the reason for that is because SEO is a belief and not a science. It's entirely based in really two things. Probably more, but primarily two things. What somebody told you works and what you've seen working. It's really comparable to religion, and again, what somebody told you is and what you've seen, and kind of disregarding and or discrediting the beliefs of others, really. Like the content is king, don't build backlinks crowd poo-poos on the backlink building crowd. We can, get away with different content type stuff. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. This is probably the worst slide in this entire kind of presentation, because all it is a tree that's upside down. What I was trying to do is like all the branching, we'll say ideologies of SEO, and that like, okay, you start here with just SEO, and it's like, well, do you build backlinks? Yes, maybe, no, sometimes organic only. And then from there, it's like, okay, well, what kind of content do you like to create? How many images do you have per 100 words? Do you have images at all? Do you have video? Do you do off page at all? Are you worried about internal linking? What's your internal linking strategy? Do you have contextual internal links? Do you have dynamic internal links? Do you have static internal links? Do you have all these kind of factors that there is no kind of set, this is what works. It's all, well, this is what works for me. That's what I'm talking about. So you have like, studies and shit, where the in count might not be anything significant, but it's presented in a way that makes it significant. Anecdotal evidence, it seems like if you actually kind of look at SEO advice from a objective lens, or maybe as a skeptic, you realize that a lot of the advice given, the in count is 1, where it's me saying, hey, guess what, this helped my websites rank, this works. Well, that works for me and what I have going on and what I'm doing, which might be vastly different from what you have going on and what you're doing. Therefore, it might not work for you. which is just kind of like a throwback to like a week or two ago. I put out a video updating like my translated posts, and I actually am going to be talking about this in more detail later on in this little video. My translated posts video at the end of it, I go, should you auto translate your posts with Translate Press and DeepL? I said, I don't fucking know, because I don't know. I don't know whether you should. I know I can, because I can get away with it, and I it's okay. I don't know what's going on your end, so I can't say for certain. And that's because my in count is 1, and therefore it's not significant. You could even look at a study that's like inside your specific industry. Somebody that's doing a website about, I don't know, health and fitness, right? You can look at case studies of other sites in the health and fitness niche doing a content site or trying to get business to their personal training business. And whatever they did might not work for you. It might be a geolocation thing. It might be a content thing. There's all these factors that go into this that is just not talked about at all or considered. Because I used to not consider this stuff. That's why now I just keep making the same site over and over again, because that's what works. You could even look at, case studies of like specific use cases. Might not even be specific to your industry, but it might be, hey, I'm thinking about creating video for the articles that I'm writing. Well, it might work for Joe Guy who actually knows how to talk on camera, unlike me, and has a charisma to him, whereas you might have a face for radio and a voice for print. It might not work for you. Anyway, at the same time, just to counter everything I just said, the opposite of all that is true as well. You might find that an in-count, like somebody else has an experience, and you go, I'm going to try that, and it works for you. And you find a study that's specific to your industry, and it works. And you find a study that's specific to your use case, and it works. And that's why this shit is so frustrating. When you look at it, like third party looking in, like, what is going on here really? Because nobody knows. It's, again, Schrodinger's rankings. Nobody knows. Additionally, even a mostly unanimous decision, like having a fast website is better, can be thwarted because slow sites rank too. We could sit here and say, or most people will agree that if you're going to outsource content, 5 cent per word content is going to be better than 1 cent per word content. However, that 1 cent per word content can beat that 5 cent per word content. Why? I don't know. Because we're always forgetting about the most important ranking factor, which is seen here. Who knows? Nobody knows. It's like the scene in Wolf of Wall Street where they're talking about with Matthew McConaughey and the guy that dates 19-year-olds. They're going, hey, nobody knows if the stock's going up or down or sideways, especially, not stockbrokers. SEOs don't know what's going to work and what's not. If we knew what was going to work, I wouldn't be, if I knew what was going to work 100% of the time, I wouldn't be making videos. I'd be banking. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the skeptic's view. You know what I mean? Drink some water, get hydrated. Nobody knows why one thing ranks over another, or why site X is ranking over site Y, even though site-wise metrics on paper, they should be beating them on every front. But for whatever reason, site X is beating site Y. There's that unknown factor, and nobody knows it. Because again, if they knew what it was, then they would be winning. They wouldn't be the motherfuckers that know aren't making videos. I don't know. If I knew, you wouldn't know because I wouldn't tell you. And bear with me because there's some severe irony ahead. I know I just talked mostly about how anecdotal evidence is fucking nonsense, and then I said that it's not nonsense because it's really whatever. But what kind of made me want to record this and get my thoughts out there is because I posted on a forum, and I was like, somebody posted, hey, there's this new update coming out, Google. They're pushing something about product review update for all these different languages. And I was like, hey, somebody remind me in 2 weeks when this thing's rolled out, and I'll tell you how my auto translate posts are. And this guy chimes in. I don't know if you've read this already, but blah, blah, blah. If you're auto translating the post, there's a high probability that people reading them in their own language know that the content is crap and are not converting. So I'm wondering how that part is working out for you. I'm saying this because I tried auto translating and then had a person native to that language read my article, and they said they would leave my site, never ever come back because it was total trash. Sad face. Well, bud, it's one of those situations where it's like, man, I just want to tear into this guy, but I was like, you know what? We'll just take it easy. But I'm reading this and I go, yeah, you don't know what I have going on. I don't know what you had going on. So I can't say whether, you did it right or wrong or what have you, but you cannot come out and say, there's a high probability that the content is crap and not converting. When it's like, bitch, it is converting. So, and I haven't gotten any, the only mail I've gotten from it since I started is this guy in Poland who emails me like every 3 days asking for a job. It's annoying. And he emails me in Polish. Like that's the problems I'm running into. Is this guy asking me for a job and I got to go to Auto Trans or go to Google Translate and see exactly what the hell he's asking me about. But the thing is, if there was a company that was like, hey, we want to hire some guy, some SEO, and they said, hey, we want you guys to do whatever you did for your sites, we want you to do it for our site. If they sat me and this guy in the room, or they were interviewing me and this guy, we would have completely different game plans for what they're looking for. Because again, my experience is that my auto-translated stuff is working. His experience is that he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, so it turned out like shit, and he got shit results. And neither of us are right, because it's a completely isolated incident, or a completely isolated use case, where in this specific site, it worked. In my case, in his specific site, it didn't work. But that's 2 sites in a sea of billions. Insignificant. And guess what? He's going to go out. If we had to sit here and debate this, if we had to go back and forth, he could find 100 case studies of people trying to translate their stuff and it not working. And I could find 100 that they translated and it was working. Nuance, baby. What the hell? So I guess to sum it all up, this is just why It Depends is so popular, because nobody knows. Nobody really knows what's going on. They just have their ideas. What somebody told them works. They said, okay, I believe you. I'm going to try it. Oh my gosh, it did work. Validated. And then that's it. You know what I mean? I think that's it. I think that's all we got. All right. I just had to get that off my chest. Thanks. Bye.